Hello and welcome. Are you planning to pursue higher education in India or in any foreign country? Are you considering to fund it by availing education loan? Did you know that you could avail tax benefits if you have availed education loan for it? Not just for you, you could avail this deduction for higher education even for your spouse or for your children or any relative for whom you are the legal guardian. So in today's video, let's discuss in detail about this tax benefit. We'll see how much deduction can you avail, what conditions do you have to satisfy in order to get this benefit, and how can you avail this benefit. Also, some tax planning tips in the end. But before we begin, if you haven't already, do consider to subscribe to my channel for more videos. Now back to today's topic. First, let's see from whom can we avail education loan. You can avail loan from bank or financial institution or any approved charitable institution to pursue higher education. In other words, you will not be able to get this deduction if you avail loan from your friends or relatives. Then let's understand what do we mean by higher education. Higher education would include all fields of studies, that is full-time courses after pre-university. It could be regular courses like graduation or post-graduation programs or vocational courses like diploma courses, etc. The school or the institute or the university in which you intend to pursue higher education should have been recognized by the Government of India. Higher education can be pursued in India or in any foreign country. It can be for yourself, your spouse, your children, or for any other relative for whom you are the legal guardian. Now, what kind of deduction can we avail? We can avail deduction of interest paid on education loan. In other words, we can't avail deduction in respect of repayment of principal portion. Further, payment should have been made out of income chargeable to tax. In other words, if you are making payment out of exempt income, then you will not be able to avail this deduction. How much deduction can you get? There's no limit as such. The entire interest that you pay can be availed as deduction. Now let's understand for what period can you get this benefit. You can avail this deduction for 8 years or till the interest is paid in full, whichever is earlier. If you repay your loan in 8 years, then you can avail this deduction for the entire 8 years. If you repay your loan in 6 years, then you can avail deduction for 6 years. But if you take 10 years to repay your loan, you can avail deduction only for 8 years. You can avail this deduction from the year you start repaying your loan, and it can continue for 7 successive years or till the entire interest is paid, whichever is earlier. In other words, you can avail this deduction for 8 continuous years once you start repayment of loan. To understand this better, let's consider a scenario. Let's say you have availed education loan for yourself to pursue higher education in a recognized university in India. Let's say you have availed education loan of 12 lakhs and this is availed on 1st Jan 2019. Let's say the rate of interest applicable is 9% per annum, and let's say you start repaying the loan from 1st April 2021. So the interest for the year would be 9% of 12 lakh, that is 1.08 lakh. So for the first year, that is financial year 21-22, you can avail deduction under Sec80E up to 1.08 lakh. Similarly, you can avail deduction of interest paid for next 7 years, that is from financial year 22-23 to financial year 28-29 or till the date of repayment of loan, whichever is earlier. However, if you have opted for alternative tax regime, then you will not be able to avail this deduction. Alternative tax regime specifies lower rate of taxes if you forego certain deductions and exemptions. Now that we have understood about this deduction, let's see how can you avail this deduction. You are required to obtain a certificate from the lender. Let's say you have availed loan from SBI, then SBI would give you a certificate. This certificate would state the amount of interest paid for the year. On the basis of this certificate, you can claim your deduction while you file your income tax return. You're just required to mention the interest paid for the year in the deduction tab under section 80E. Lastly, let's see how can we plan better so that we get maximum benefit of this deduction. First, repay the loan within 8 years to get maximum benefit. Because if you take more than 8 years to repay your loan, you can still get this deduction only for 8 years. Check if the institute or university in which you are planning to pursue education is recognized by the government. Ensure that you avail loan only from notified or approved lenders, that is banks or financial institution or approved charitable institution. Next, avail loan in your name. If the loan is sanctioned in someone else's name, then you as a taxpayer will not be able to avail this deduction. If you are planning to opt for alternative tax regime and if you have availed education loan, then consider 80D deduction in addition to other deductions like 80C, 80D, etc. before you opt for alternative tax regime. In this video, I have tried to give you an insight into the tax benefits that you would get if you avail education loan to pursue higher education. Hope this was helpful. If you enjoyed this episode, you may like the video. You may spread knowledge by sharing this video with others. Thank you for watching.